Welcome. So today I'm going to be showing us a workflow. So what does this automation workflow is going to be doing is when a deal is marked as one. So once it's marked as one, we are going to be sending and creating an invoice and sending the invoice to an email. And we have different kind of deals. So we have some deals are starter deal, we have premium deal, and we have growth deal. So based on this pricing option of some particular deals, we're going to use that to determine the pricing for that deal. That's the amount of the deal. So the workflow basically is when a particular deal, a company mark a deal as one. So that means a particular deal has been won for that company. Then we check the pricing for that deal. Probably, let's say the company mark a deal with a client, and the deal is a starter. The pricing option for that deal is a starter package. So we're going to use the pricing option to determine the amount for that deal. So now let's go to our HubSpot application to set up some trigger and some workflows. So here, let's go back. So we come to our HubSpot application, come to our automation. Once we click on the automation, we click on the workflows, and on the workflow, we have our list of workflows here. So what we want to do is to set up a trigger webhook when a particular deal has been marked as one. So let's go here. So for this, so here I have two deals. So these two deal here, you can see we have one deal at contract sent and we have another deal at appointment schedule. So now we go to our workflow. So now there are some things that you need to set for your webhook to perform successfully. So the first step is to set your trigger enrollment workflow. So this trigger enrollment workflow is basically what action do you want this particular trigger webhook to listen on for you to be able to get the data from the HubSpot application. So we say that when a property has been changed, that means when a property is changed, so either of the property. Now we don't want to just select any kind of property. We want to be specific about our property that we want to listen on. So we said you should listen on the deal stage. So if you come to this place, you will see that we have deal stage. So when any of this property now deal stage, when it's updated from, let's say, appointment schedule to close one, that's when we want. So we now give it what these deals we have specified the particular property. So what value must it be changed to before we can now execute this particular trigger successfully? So we want it to listen to closed one. So here we have our closed one. So you can see the closed one here. So once we change this deal to a closed one, then the trigger is going to execute and send us the data that we want to use. So this is the first setting. Then we have the webhook. So this webhook here is coming from the n8n webhook trigger node. So we have our URL, the test URL, and the production URL. So we are using the test URL. So here with the test URL, we can change the path. So once we change the path, we copy the URL and we come to our action and we set the method post, because here we are listening on post method. So we set it at post and we paste the URL. So once that trigger has been made, so we are telling it that send us this particular data. So we want the deal stage, we want the amount, we want the record ID, which is the ID, we want the deal name and the pricing option. The pricing option, like I explained, we have different kind of pricing. So those pricing is what we would use to determine our amount. Now, so once we've done that, we click on turn on. So here I can turn it off, but it's currently turned on. That's why you are also seeing it on here. So I'm going to go back. Now, once I go back, so our workflow is set. And now I'm going to go to, now we have our deals and we have our workflow. So what I want to do now is, so I'm going to start the workflow. So now the workflow I want to start is the Abiodun deal. So this deal has a contract, is already on a stage contract sent. So I'm going to change it to closed one, and then we are going to see if it's going to listen to the action and send us the data. So the price option that we're also using for this deal is premium. So this price option we use to determine the amount that will be set for this particular deal. So now let's go to our webhook, and let me refresh so we can have it as at a beginner state. So now I want to start the webhook. So I've started the webhook. Now I'm going to update this property deal stage. I say that once it listens to this deal stage property and the value is close to 1, then this trigger webhook node trigger should fire. So now we change it to closed 1. It told us that it has been saved. Come to this place. Let's wait and listen. See, it's listening to it. It comes. It's helping us downloading the file, and then we are emailing it. So now we can see that we've gotten the data. So here we have the body. So here are the property that we told the HubSpot workflow to send to us, the stage, the amount. So after it has sent us that, we come to our search deals, search for the deals if that deals particular exists. So to be assured that this particular deal exists on HubSpot. So it exists and give us the data. Now we come to the fetch associated contact with this deal. So we want to know if this particular deal is associated with the contact. So definitely there is a company, the company is marking a deal as one. So definitely there is a contact attached to that deal. So once we try to use the HTTP node to get the contact attached to this deal, so we are able to get it, and this is the ID. So we use this ID now. So now we are checking if it exists. So it exists, and then we go to our get contact. So we get the contact for that particular deal. So once we get the contact here, we are checking the price option. So we know that the pricing option that we used when we are setting it is premium. So here I told you that when the data is, so here we are checking for the starter. We are using the switch statement. So the switch statement is going to tell us which particular pricing that is supposed to use. So since we know that it's premium, so it's not going to go to this first row, second row. It's going to go to this third row because that's where we have our premium. So on this place, you can see that it moves to this third set field. So this set field now, we set it to an amount of 150,000 naira, and then we set our invoice. So we set the invoice data. So this is what we consist inside the invoice. We have the invoice ID, the date, the contact name, email, the company, the pricing option, the amount, and the deal name. Now after that, now because the 0 is an option, so I decided to use a Google Sheet as my invoice option. Since the 0, we are supposed to use 0, so I'm using the Google Sheets as invoice option. So here now we've set our details, and then so if we check our Google Sheets, you can see that the credentials has been created in our invoice Google Sheets. So after that has been done, we come to our download file. So once it downloads the file, you can see it downloads the file, and then the mail to, it sends the invoice to an email. So that will be all. Thank you very much.